Hey, Tom. Thanks for taking my call. I appreciate you, and I do like your insight and your perspective.
No need to butter me up, Jeff. Get right to your disagreement.
Well, the previous caller a while back was talking about percentages of people who voted for America versus voted for Trump, and I just wanted to throw my 2 cents and say I voted for America, and I didn't vote for Joe Biden. So I wanted to remind that gentleman that we had the lowest inflation numbers. We had the greatest unemployment numbers for all minorities. We had so much going. And when
we do right now under Joe Biden. I mean, Donald Trump lost more jobs than any president the only president who lost more jobs during his time as president in the last 100 years was Herbert Hoover.
Right. Okay. Well, I would have to say that going back to the comment about voting for Trump is not a patriotic vote, is that kind of what you would say?
Well, no. Well, yes, actually I would, because Donald Trump proclaimed that he was the enemy of American values. When he came down that escalator and he started wailing on brown people, when he was telling cops, beat up your suspects. I mean, these are antithetical to American values of fairness and honesty and integrity. This is a guy who lied to the American people over 30,000 times. This is a guy who paid money to lie to the American people about who he really was in regard to his philandering and his lifestyle. This is a guy who tore children from their parents. That's not an American value. This is a guy who tried to pull us out of NATO. That's not an American value. This is a guy who sucked up to Vladimir Putin and burned a spy to the Russians in his first week in office. And that spy had to be, burned, taken out by the Israelis. This is a guy who sucked up to a Saudi dictator and said it was no big deal that they murdered an American journalist or a journalist working in America. I mean, I don't see how you can say that basically anything Donald Trump has done comports with American values, unless the American values you're talking about are the values of the Klan.
Right, who was all supported by the Democrat Party all throughout history.
Well, the Democratic Party was the party of racism and slavery right up until 1965. But I'm guessing that you were born after 65, Jeff. I wasn't, but I remember it. And I can tell you the Democratic Party has not been that party since 1965. And that was, 60-some years ago. And to try to attack Democrats today because Jesse Helms back in the day was saying segregation, forever, when Jesse Helms left the Democratic Party to become a Republican after the Democratic Party passed, the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act, I think makes my case.
Well, did you see the recent...
What did Trump do that was American? Was firing half the scientists at the Environmental Protection Agency so that the big polluting industries could pour more poison into our water? Was that pro-American? Was signing his first piece of legislation a law that allowed the coal companies to dump their slurry directly into our rivers so that it would poison people downwind downriver from them who's getting water supplies from that? Was that pro-American? I mean, it made him millions in terms of lobbying from the coal industry. I can't think of a single thing, Jeff, that Donald Trump did that was actually pro-American. And as to his wonderful economy, it actually was growing slower than the economy was under Obama during his second 4 years. He just inherited a good economy from Obama.